So in 2001, I was diagnosed with ME when I was 11. And at the time, I kind of just buried my head in the sand in terms of I didn't want to learn much about the illness. I just kind of experienced it, and that was enough for me. And I used different coping mechanisms, including creative writing, as an outlet to kind of get through to day-to-day life. And I got into filmmaking after that and created a web series. And then as I carried on writing, I hit this point where I thought that I might want to address ME as a subject. I did a bit of research into it and found some really worrying statistics. So some of my personal experiences when I got diagnosed were that it was really hard to get a diagnosis, because even now there still are some doctors that for some reason don't believe it, even though it's been medically proven to be a medical condition. There still is a stigma that is with it. And then also, because you can't see it, I mean, they call it the invisible illness, it also makes you feel invisible because there's a lot of people that don't believe you. You'll be like, I'm sick, and they'll say, well, I can't see anything, so you're not. You just get on with it, or go back to school, or, we had a lot of relatives who would say stuff to my parents. We had doctors who said even worse stuff to my parents. And I feel like that's as big an issue as anything, because that's not fair for people to have to live like that. I think that it's hard enough to live with the illness, never mind living with constantly having to prove that you're ill, or constantly having to jump through hoops with doctors and your own family. I mean, I've spoken to people who have had parents that don't believe them, and imagine how isolating that is when no one in the world believes you.
For so long, no one believed me. No one thought that there was anything wrong with me. They thought it was all in my head, all in my mum's head, and I knew that there was something wrong. I knew there was. For so long, it just got so bad, and to be told by someone that I have got it was what I needed, because I needed that for school as well, for them to do anything for me at school, for me to receive any kind of help. I needed that diagnosis, so it really helped me a lot.
I think they knew, or they were going on that diagnosis of ME, but the reasons, because they believed it was a psychological illness, it wasn't said what the diagnosis was. All it was they gave Jessica a physiotherapist, and I remember quite distinctly going down with her in a wheelchair to the physiotherapy room, and this physiotherapist saying, right, get on one of these exercise bikes, and being really, really forceful. And she'd go on that exercise bike and she was literally crying her eyes out. She was in so much pain. And it's very hard as a mum not to punch the physiotherapist. And I couldn't understand why they were doing this. I had no idea why would they do it. And oh well, if we keep her moving, if we keep her exercising, then she's going to get better. She's going to get better. And I put my foot down in the end and I said, no, this really is not working.
There's a lot of people who go through that, and I think that has to change. And I think that by writing something that tackles some of those issues, I feel like that might help alleviate some of the stigma and hopefully change something to the better for those people. But yeah, and then the timing just seemed right in that I don't really talk about it often, or I didn't for the 16 years prior. But people kept on asking me over the years, why didn't I write something about it? And I just kept on thinking, well, there's no need, or it's too hard. And then kind of that naiveness of, well, maybe it's not needed because maybe the doctors are better, and maybe people aren't struggling as much now with it, and maybe awareness is better for the illness. But I went and did some research just to kind of almost confirm that there's no need for me to write it. And what I discovered was that we are no further along with awareness or medical treatment for it than we were in 2001, which is a scary old thing that in that time, the same things that happened to me are happening to the next generation of people, and now the next generation after that as well. So when you see things like that, you can't help but look at it and think, what can I do? And the simple answer of what I could do is write something about it.
The objective is to make society realize that ME is real. It afflicts people every day, and it has real consequences if it's not checked. People suffer in silence and are very misunderstood, often, considered lazy or just don't have any motivation, or all kinds of slights against them. If people watching this movie or these episodes get anything from this, they'll get that it is real, and perhaps may even find significance within themselves, maybe see it in someone else, or maybe in their lifetime meet someone that says, hey, I have this, and rather than kind of in their head going, whatever, it's not real, they'll go, oh, actually, this is real, and give them due consideration, support, help. When something like this is left unchecked, not unlike other conditions that have been out there previous, like even ADHD before it was a well-known thing. The suicide rate is quite high, but if people are aware of it, understand it, and are considerate to it, then they might be able to step in and help someone that say has ME, which I know from not personal experience, but a friend's personal experience, often didn't happen, and it's heart-wrenching. It's absolutely heart-wrenching. So I hope that's what people get from this anyways, is a deeper understanding of something that is really, really afflicting a lot of people. If it's done in an episodic type of format, then perhaps as the characters grow through the episodes, people's knowledge of the issue at hand can grow. It perhaps is a vehicle to attract more people as well, because the story, it's growing. It's not just, nothing's final, it's still growing. So I think, that's why people watch sitcoms, isn't it? Because they get to get a bit more of the journey of these characters that you grow to love. So yeah, I think it's a good vehicle.
Yeah, it would be like episodic as well. It's like, because it's like very short, people will take it in more, because it's not like one massive long piece that people have got to take in all at once. It's like bit by bit, they take it in.
As soon as I heard about it, I thought, wow, this is amazing. I really, really did. And when I started talking to Tom about it and just finding out things and stuff like that you were going to portray in the film, and I actually got sent the script, I was really, really happy about that. I thought, I think it's an amazing idea, excellent, to bring awareness to a condition that not many people know about, not enough people know about. I mean, seriously, even doctors, really, like high up doctors are still not deciding to diagnose it because they don't know enough about it. So this film needs to go out there and to bring awareness, because I also don't think that people are aware that teenagers get it as well, because a lot of doctors and stuff that we've gone and spoken to, like in A&E, for example, I had to go to A&E a couple of times because of pain and things like that, and not knowing what was going on, and they've said, oh yeah, but it's really rare though, isn't it? Is it to get ME in teenagers? And but it's not really rare. It happens like quite a lot, and that's why people need to know about it and catch it before it gets worse.